I created my own Linux ISO image on my Mac. For reference, the ISO image is about 6 gigabytes of storage.
Oh my god.
The main reason I created this ISO image is because I didn't want my brother to deal with microslop. And I also wanted to give him a Mac-like experience. It started with the deep burning rage for Windows. Okay, it's not that deep, but let's continue with the story. So then came choosing the right distro. And from the start, I was thinking of a good gaming distro because what if my brother wants to play games in the future? And I also wanted stability. Bazzite Linux happens to be a gaming distro and it's immutable, meaning it has really good stability. And this is perfect because I want a stable computer for my little brother. When I went through the Bazzite documentation, it turns out they have a way of creating a custom Bazzite image. And I found they have a couple of ways of creating your own image. And I ended up going with option A, which is using the official template. And I followed their video. After watching that video, I watched a video on how to make the KDE desktop environment look like macOS. And I wrote down the steps and things that they used in that video. Then I went to Claude and Gemini and used what I learned from the previous video to help me prompt Claude and Gemini to give me a script that'll make Bazzite look like macOS. So it turns out a lot of the stuff that I tried to configure and install and make it look like macOS, they have Apple logos and it has like a lot of icons from macOS and backgrounds and stuff. And I was like, I wonder about the legalities. So I asked ChatGPT and it turns out that shipping all of that in an ISO image could pose some legal concerns. As they say, being open source doesn't mean that you're immune to lawsuits. And personally, I don't want any lawsuits or anything, DMCA requests from Apple to take this down. So I decided to just make it have the same layout as macOS, and that's all. So here's the VM I created, and I've installed the ISO image already on. And I've also remote RDP'd into it, so I'll just show you that. So this is the desktop environment, which is KDE. And it's pre-set up like this when you install the ISO, so you don't need to actually set any of this up. It looks like this by default. And now if you go over here, this shows you the about this PC, shutdown, restart. And if you go over here, there's something similar to Control Center. And this gives you info about your battery, if there was a battery, but there's no VM. The VM doesn't have battery. This is the launcher. You can launch your apps. And if you go here, you can see that all the buttons are on the left-hand side by default, just like macOS. And if we do echo shell, you'll notice that the ZSH shell is being used by default, and I think that's better than bash, so I wanted to include that. Another thing I've also included is something called vCNA. How do I pronounce that again? vCNA, yeah. And it's basically similar to Raycast. It's pretty nice. So I've already created a toggle for it, but it won't be done in when you install it. You'll have to set this up. But it basically lets you see your clipboard history, lets you access apps and stuff. You have all kinds of extension support on here. So this is what I did to enable vCNA, but
And now I can close this. And there's also, if you go into edit mode, add widgets, nothing. I've included these widgets that are quite nice looking and they are nothing themed, and I thought I should include these by default. So yeah, they're there. And yes, no browser is installed by default because I feel like we spend so much time in our browsers nowadays. I feel like that's personal for a lot of people. But you can go ahead and install your own browser from the Bazaar app here. And it's basically an app store. And I've installed the Zen browser through there because I like the arc aesthetic, I guess you could say that. But yeah. So next, just want to quickly go through this so I can show you guys something. So if you enlarge the screen, it actually creates its own separate virtual desktop, just like macOS. If you're used to that, it creating a new desktop environment, it has that same sort of functionality on here. And yeah. And that's it for what's included. And next, I'm going to go to customization.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how can I make this look exactly like macOS with the Apple logos and Mac icons and everything, even though I didn't include it in the ISO? And I'm going to show you how in a second. And please consider subscribing because that would mean a lot to me.
So here's how to make this look like macOS with the Apple logos and Mac icons. Even though I haven't included any of those with the ISO image, you can go into your settings. And if you go into global theme, you can click get new theme. And if you go here, you're going to search for Tahoe, which is the latest macOS. And you're going to find the one by Vince Luis. And you're going to just click install. And it'll take a sec. Okay. And if it installed, I don't know if it did. It did. Okay. If you come down here, you can see that, I don't know why it does. Okay, it's installed. If you go over here now, you can click macOS Tahoe Lite and just leave it at the setting that it is right now and just click apply. And boom, you have your Apple logo in the corner. And if you close all the windows, you can see we have the Finder logo, all the Apple logos, Apple-like logos in here. Now, if you want to change this launcher icon, we can do that. So if you just open your browser, Zen, I'm opening the Zen browser because I have that installed. What's happening here? Okay. So if you open up your browser, now if you just type up Mac icons, there's this website called Mac Icons, free Mac icons. Now if we go over here, search for launcher, launch, yeah. So we can just download this, download, cool. Now I like to open that and downloads, and I usually like to move this to documents, move into a new, move to here, and I like creating a new folder called icons, like so, just tossing that into there, and maybe I'll just rename it before I toss it into there, launch, cool, and I'll put it into there, move here, and if you go into here now, you can go edit, menu editor, and actually, sorry, it's not menu editor. It's over here. If you right click here, and you can configure plasma drawer, and just click on the icon and click choose and do browse. Now you're going to go to documents, icons, and it's probably not going to show, but if you just click backspace here, and now you have launch.icons, and press open and apply. Okay. And why didn't that work? Huh? Was this not the one? Let's try that again. Maybe something went wrong. Let's just drop it into here. Let's go into here, edit application, configure, choose, browse. Huh, I guess don't rename it, because that didn't happen to help me here for some reason. And now you'll probably realize how the icon's a bit smaller than the rest, and we can just fix that. If we just go to show panel configuration, we can just adjust the panel height, and this seems to have solved it. It seems to make everything the same height, similar, and that's it.
Everything about this project can be found in the video description, the GitHub, and the ISO image. And if you are installing this, there is a slight issue where once you set up everything, few virtual desktops get created by default. And I think that's because of one of the Kwin scripts I installed. And I ended up removing a package called xwaylandvideobridge, and that seemed to fix the issue. I don't know if I would break screen recording, but that seemed to fix the issue for me, and see you guys in the next video.